Hi, I'm JettKuso, and welcome to a Baku retrospective? I don't know, the show doesn't have a name, but today we are going to be talking about Combiner Bakugan, or Baku Combiners, or whatever the case. It's any time in the Legacy series when they would take two or more different Bakugan and mash them together into one unique monster. Bakugan combinations can go from the ridiculous to the ridiculously cool, and I'm gonna be saving some of the weirdest combinations for last, so make sure you stick around to the end. Let's do it! Yeah, you're kind of pinching the wings, that looks bad. It just doesn't. Oh, whatever. Okay, yep. 3, 2, 1. Part 1! Novastroya! The Bakugan Novastroya anime gave us a brand new concept, mechanical Bakugan. Horrific and powerful monstrosities created by the Vexos. Along with having new abilities and more powerful beams, some mechanical Bakugan had the ability to combine.
You scared? Combination formation!
Altair and wired. Merge completed.
It's just one big Bakugan. You happy now?
The very first Combiner Bakugan were Altair and Wired, who mashed together in one of two different ways to form Meta Altair. The anime-accurate combination is kind of some disturbing imagery, so we're not gonna focus too much on that, and instead talk about the toy-exclusive combination. The second type of combination is a little bit more reasonable, but it's still kind of a monstrosity of design. It doesn't look intentional at all. It just looks like they flipped out the feet on two random Bakugan and shoved them together in a very uncomfortable and painful looking way. Then we have the mechanical trap Bakugan Metal Fencer, which was controlled by Spectra Phantom. In the show, he combined with Viper Helios, but in the toy, I think he can only be combined with designated Round Boy Cyborg Helios. These two Bakugan are able to combine via peg and hole technique, and honestly, I think it kind of looks snazzy as all get out. It's a great precursor to some of the other peg and hole combiners that we got in the latter half of Novastroya. Maxus Dragonoid and Maxus Helios are the very first in a line of a long-running trend that ran all the way through to the end of the Legacy series and to this very day. Every year, a brand new flagship product, a big money seller to go on all the Christmas lists. I'll be honest, I love Maxus Dragonoid. It fulfills all of the desires of my mecha tokusatsu fan heart. Big, chunky, boxy, metal, and awesome. The designers really just said, hey, let's take an entire dragon and shove him inside the power loader from Aliens, and then just throw a little bit of Hot Rod Red in there. One Bakugan ball, 6 mechanical trap Bakugan, shifting and clicking into place to form one giant Robo-Dragon. From a pure aesthetic standpoint, sure, it looks a little bit goofy, but that cheesiness is kind of what makes it so fun. It should look a little bit goofy. It's honestly amazing for what it is. And unlike subsequent flagship Bakugan toys, it's far more than just a shelf piece. Every piece in the set is a fully playable game piece. The whole thing breaks down easy, which makes for far easier storage than some of the larger flagship items. It's made of real pop-open magnetic Bakugan toys, so you get value out of every piece in the set. Speaking of being made entirely out of Bakugan, here's Maxus Helios. He's really trying his best, guys. Just give him some time. He's working on it, okay? No Bakugan trap, this guy, oh, he's all marbles. It's marbles all the way down, just marbles. Beyond that, every Bakugan that forms Maxus Helios was available in a single Bakugan booster pack or multi-packs, which allowed you to construct your own in pretty much any attribute just by buying them in booster packs and shoving them together with a little bit of dedication. You can see an example of this with mine, which is a terrible chimera of Pyrus and Darkus Bakugan, plus a stupid Subterra Fencer, because I've never been able to find one in the right color scheme.
It just really looks stupid.
The resulting combination looks kind of like a spiky balloon animal, but hey, I'm not gonna judge him by these Hollywood standards. Real Bakugan have curves. Part 3! Baku Fusions! Season 3, Gundalian Invaders didn't give us any new Combiner Bakugan as far as I know, cause wow! Battle Gear!
That's better.
It's good?
Yeah.
That was good.
Okay. However, things went completely insane in Mectanium Surge. Baku Fusions, not to be confused with Fusion Bakugan from the new Bakugan Fusion Force line, Baku Fusions kind of suck. Baku Fusions are kind of an extension of the Meta Altair idea, but with a little bit more intentionality behind them. The connection points are way more interesting, and for the most part, they do look like they're made to combine with each other. Different parts on each Bakugan are flipped around and swapped into different positions, and you shove them together with the good old-fashioned peg and hole technique. This is Radizin, who's like a chicken. And then there's Roxtor, which you flip out these giant legs on and shove them together to form Beta Core, who's like a more leggy chicken. Scorptac is pretty weird too. He ends up being like a bird scorpion, but the whole thing is worth it in my book because we get Volchaos. I don't have to describe what makes Volchaos cool. It's the all-powerful Volchaos. Then there's Baku Skyraider combinations. Here's some crisp JPEGs of what those look like because I couldn't even be bothered to find any of them in my collection because every single one of them is lower tier than Meta Altair, and that's saying something.
Bakugan Brawl.
Part 4, Baku Mutants.
Mectanium Surge also gave us a brand new kind of combiner Bakugan, Baku Mutants. And holy Maxitor, these are disgusting creations. 5 Baku Mutant marbles were released, each containing 2 different parts that can be swapped around at will to create new combined forms. Baku Mutants are very disappointing in my eyes. The designs are just so limited with how the faceplate thingies fit down into the abdomens. I mean, just look at Mutantalion. He's boring. And it's even worse when you look at how simple and dull the 2 parts are on their own. And not many of the Baku Mutants look that much better than that. Even the combinations are just yucky looking. They're really underwhelming. Look, this is me in real time trying to swap out the faces on 2 Baku Mutant Bakugan. There's a little button and it doesn't work that well and it's hard to click them back into place and they keep trying to open. And are they supposed to be open when you combine them or closed when you combine them? It just didn't work. No shame on you if you like them. This is just my opinion. They actually have some value now because they're kind of rare. Baku Mutants kind of make me happy that Fusion Force doesn't have a toy combiner gimmick as far as we know, because it just can't be done very well, right?
Part 5, the Bind System.
Meanwhile, in Japan, the holy grail of Bakugan combiner technology was being crafted in the labs of Sega. The Bind System. You all, obviously, already know about the Bind System, so I don't have to explain what the Bind System is, but if you don't know what the Bind System is for some reason, here's a recreation of your mind being blown by the Bind System, just how my mind was blown by the Bind System when I was 13 years old. Yes, that's right, 8 Bakugan, each with 2 halves, a lot like Baku Mutant, but these split into 2 full hemispheres. No buttons, no pegs, no holes, just a click and a slide and you're ready to go. These are everything that Baku Mutant wasn't. It seems impossible to make engineering like this work at all, but it actually works really well. They slide together and click shut in such a satisfying way. And the combinations still feel distinct and interesting and different from one another. They actually create completely new looking creatures. I mean, look at these guys. I only have 3 of the things, and I'm able to create so many different combinations. It boggles my mind how the designers at Sega came up with such a streamlined design philosophy. These are basically the Nintendo Switch of Bakugan. Just beautiful. Bakugan combiners have come in many iterations over the years, from Bakugan that split completely in half, to Bakugan that form a giant Megazord, to just shoving two normal Bakugan onto each other's shoulders, putting him in a tiny trench coat and having him sneak into a movie theater. I give Spin Master so much credit for trying to create so many weird, unique, and interesting play patterns for these little goofy monster marbles. Thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JettKuso. I also want to thank my Patreon supporters, like VarronOoC. If you want to help support the content that I make and help me make more, follow me on Patreon at patreon.com/JettKuso. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the little bell icon if you want to know every time I post a new video. It means a lot to me for everyone that follows my content. I have so much on the way. Also, I want to know your thoughts in the comments section. Do you want to see Combiner Bakugan make a comeback in the new Bakugan line? Let me know in the comments below. This is JettKuso, and I'll see you next time.